Yeah. Blackjack. Life is like a game of cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Yeah. Blackjack. To play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
You know why?
Why is that?
Michael had a head injury in January of the same year. He doesn't remember what happened.
Right.
And on New Year's Day, he didn't want to do anything for New Year's Eve because his back hurt.
Okay.
And it pissed me off.
Right.
Because I wanted to go out. So I made my 8-month pregnant girlfriend, or so she was 7 months pregnant. And we just went to the casino. We had a drink. I had a drink. She had a foo-foo.
Right.
Whatever. And then we went back to her place. And I stayed there for the night because I was too pissed off to go home.
Okay.
So the next morning I woke up and I was like, okay, Judy, new year, new day. Go back, make it right.
Right.
I get back to the house and I knew he was there. And I looked everywhere.
Right.
Keep in mind, we had a 7-bedroom house, 2-story.
Okay.
And we had a bonus room outside of the house, which is our 3rd-car garage, and a pool out back. So we had a huge acre lot. And I'm walking through the house, calling him. We couldn't find him anywhere. Like, what the hell? Well, maybe he walked down with Max to the park, whatever, his son. And as I was leaving, we had this great big piece of machinery because he was putting black bamboo flooring in.
Okay.
So it would cut the wood and stuff and, place it. And
okay.
We had an odd shaped room. So I just happened somehow to catch his feet. It was strange. It was so weird.
To catch his feet? What do you mean?
He was laying on the opposite side of that machine.
Oh, wow.
And he was just staring at me. He wasn't talking. He wasn't moving. He was only breathing.
He was only breathing. Okay.
He was looking at me. I had no idea what the hell happened, where Max was, what was going on, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately called 911. And on the way to the hospital, I'm following the ambulance and I'm calling his dad.
Right.
And he says, and his father was at that point, it was 2013, January 1st.
Right.
He's 77 years old. Didn't understand what I was saying. So he asked me to call his sister.
Okay.
Michael was the only boy of 3 girls. Mama's boy.
Okay.
And his mom had passed the previous year. So I called his sister, told her what had happened. She said, well, where's Maximus? I said, the neighbor lady said that he was down at the park with the kids, her kids, playing football, and she would make sure that she got him. We exchanged phone numbers. I was going to come back and get him after I got Michael settled at the hospital and figured out what was going on.
Right.
Well, they thought he had a mental breakdown. I said, there's no way. You didn't do a CT, you didn't do an MRI, you didn't do an EMG, nothing.
Right.
Well, his blood pressure was so high that he couldn't leave the hospital.
Oh, wow.
So I went to leave and he grabs my hand. But when the doctors came in, the nurses came in, he wouldn't do, he wouldn't even look at him. But it was as if he knew me.
Right.
At least I wanted it to be that way.
Absolutely.
So then I had went to the hospital every single day for 13 straight days before 6 a.m., before he woke up.
Right.
And he didn't go to sleep till like 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Right.
So I didn't go until he actually fell asleep. Because if he thought I was leaving, he wouldn't go to sleep.
Okay.
Now keep in mind, anytime someone's admitted with what they think is a mental breakdown or any variation thereof, where they're going to put them in a state mental hospital.
Right.
They put in the room what's called a sitter.
Okay.
And that sitter will not leave that room without a replacement. It could be an LPN, CNA, whatever.
Right.
They're employed by the hospital, and they're there for the safety of the patient and their employees.
Okay. Absolutely.
So no given moment would I have ever been alone with Michael.
Right.
Well, I had to beg them to put a catheter in because I was cleaning him up. They wouldn't do it.
They wouldn't do it. Okay.
They were giving him his medicine for his back, and he wouldn't eat unless I fed him because he didn't know how.
Right. Wow.
And the craziest thing is, on the 12th day, my former neurologist from the car accident
Okay.
was riding up in the elevator, and I knew he didn't remember me, but I knew exactly who he was. I saw him there every day.
Right. Right.
Doing rounds. And on the 12th day, he said, and he was Asian, so I can't say it without sounding that way. It's funny,
Right.
but it's not funny. He said, "Pretty lady, what you do here?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, I do round, you here. I go back hospital, I go back to office, I come back, I do round, you still here, you get paycheck? I said, "No, my fiance is laying here. His blood pressure's too high for them to move him, and they're going to put him in a state hospital without doing a CT, an MRI, a EMG, EEG, anything. They did nothing. And I've been taking care of him around the clock." His family never showed up in Arizona. In fact, they never been to Arizona.
Wow.
So he said, "Pretty lady, I do for you today." I'll be a son of a bitch. I was right. Michael had gray matter on his brain, which indicates a head injury.
Okay. Wow. Amazing.
Right.
That was a blessing. Like I said, somebody that you knew that not that you knew, but you remembered him, and
Right.
he had asked you that, and then you come to find out and you explained to him what while you were there, and the service or the care that Michael wasn't getting at that particular time, and to find out that he was able to help you. Yeah, that's a blessing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So then that night at 9 p.m., no, the following night, it was my niece's birthday, January 13th of 2013. Well, that day, the family had asked me to find a neuro rehab where they were going to admit him
Okay.
because his blood pressure had started to come down. And
Wow.
they were going to admit him that night, following night. So that next day, I found a rehab. I set it all up. I took care of everything. And I went the next, well, they took him that night at 9:00, which was odd. But anyway, I went to the neuro rehab.
Okay.
Well, Dr. Yo was the doctor at the rehab. Dr. Yu was my old neurologist that did the studies.
Wow. Dr.
So
You and Dr. Yo. Wow.
You and Yo, right?
Right. Right.
So I'm talking to Dr. Yo, and it was real early in the morning. It's like 8:00 in the morning. And I was there, and we're having this conversation, and he's telling me how imperative it is that I'm there.
Okay.
Because I'm explaining to him, well, while he was in the hospital, he kept grabbing my arm. He was trying to kiss me. And he goes, he knows you. That's why he wouldn't talk to any of the nurses or anybody or try to have any interaction, because he didn't know them.
Okay.
He remembered you. It's going to be imperative that you be here as much as possible, because that's going to speed up his recovery.
Okay.
Well, as we were talking, one of the nurses comes in. She goes, "Are you Judy?" I said, "Yes, I am, but I'll be with you in just a second. I'm talking to the doctor." And she said, "I need to talk to you." I said, "Like I said, when I'm done with the doctor, I'll be happy to talk to you.
Right.
So he says, just make sure that when you come in, you come early so he gets to eat. Because he wouldn't eat if I wasn't there. He didn't get to eat at all.
Right. Okay.
They weren't going to take the time to feed him. He literally had basically reversed his brain back to being a child. He didn't have any concept of numbers, letters, colors. He couldn't feed himself. Nothing.
Oh, wow.
He was messed up. So I turned around and I said, look, when I'm done, I will talk to you. Until then, step. Well, I told her step away.
Right. Absolutely. Okay.
So the doctor said to me, well, just go see what she wants, and I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning, and we'll take things from there, and we'll figure out a plan.
Right.
So I go outside and I go, you know, I worked in the hospital. I have never experienced anyone interrupting a person talking to a physician. And he was the head doctor there.
Right.
And he was very irritated. And I was pissed.
Okay.
And she proceeds to tell me, well, if you come back here, you will be arrested. You will be considered trespassing.
Oh, wow. Why would she say that? Why would she say that?
I said, what the fuck? She said, well, the next of kin has banned you from the rehab.
Wow.
I said, do you have a phone? She said, yeah. I called his dad. I said, what the fuck is going on here?
Oh, wow.
And he said, well, you were giving Michael his pain pills and taking drugs into him while he was in the hospital. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm on my way to that hospital, and I want to see where that's written. Because if that's the case, I should be in bracelets down at the station.
You say you should be what?
In bracelets down at the station.
Oh, in bracelets down at the station. Okay, gotcha. Should be arrested.
Handcuffed.
Right.
Handcuffed.
Should be arrested. Okay.
Right, exactly. So I went back to the hospital. And I got as far as the boss of the charge nurse. And everyone kept saying, well, what are you talking about? Like I was an idiot. That's how I felt.
Absolutely.
They had no clue. And I escalated this to the president of the hospital. I was so pissed. It was all bullshit.
So it was a lie.
It was a lie.
We have Judy Lachowski, Michael Moore's fiance, 2Pac's bodyguard. Like I said, thank you for coming on the show, a Straight Game TV, and clearing up all of the rumors, the lies, and giving us an in-depth personal view into who Michael Moore was, how he passed away. But most importantly, I want to thank you for your time, and it's your boy DELRAY, Straight Game.